It is Oilers game day, game 5. Oilers Stars later tonight out in Dallas as the Oilers will look to take a 3-2 series lead coming back home in the Western Conference Finals. This is the Oilers stream live from the Popeyes, Louisiana kitchen studio here in the west end of Edmonton. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, on TuneIn, on iHeartRadio, as well as those watching on YouTube. Tommy will be live later tonight as well with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream. A pregame show gets going 5 o'clock. Oh, no, yeah, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, right here on Edmonton. I was thinking about the 6 o'clock starts would be 4:30, but it's 5 o'clock. You could tune in to Edmonton Sports Talk and all the things I've just previously mentioned to watch it or listen to it, or you could head down to Hudson's on Bourbon Street. Where Tommy will be there for pre and post game. I will be there myself. So will Lieutenant Eric. I think you said YTT is going to be there as well.
YTT stopping by.
There'll be some other nasties there, so we'll have a great time as we watch the Oilers take on the Stars. Tommy, how are you now? I haven't talked to you in an hour. It's been, I don't know what's been going on.
I had to walk out of the studio when I was setting up because you're on the heavy on the soccer stuff. So I was like, come on. No, I was
the
just
Super Bowl tomorrow. And then we got, sorry, you're going to be inundated with it in June.
Will I?
Euros, when you're in that hangout, every day of the Euros is on. I will have my laptop watching a match.
Physically, I will be there.
Yeah, you could. If you want, you could talk more in the hangout in those days, and I will mentally just focus on the soccer.
We can do that.
I can do that.
I'm just teasing.
I can't.
I'll watch Canada at Copa. I'm very curious to see how they do. It does. We do. I'll use we.
It is a we. When it's your
us.
nation, you're Canadian.
I was very excited during the World Cup, and we went and watched those games. I think we went to the cabin the one day. It was great. It was cool. And now that Canada's in the Copa America, which I always heard like Hernan and DVD and all the Latinos that we're friends with talking about Luciano, Hernan's cousin or nephew.
Who's a Real Madrid fan and wants Real to win tomorrow.
Of course.
I'm sure him and I will text at some point tomorrow.
Yeah. But before we get to Copa America and all this soccer stuff, there's some hockey to talk about.
We've got this potential Stanley Cup Finals that we'll have to get to, but first we got the Western Conference Finals. As the Oilers heading out to Dallas after a big win in Game 4 where they dominated that hockey game for 55 minutes. Chris Tanev leaves that game, doesn't return. The report from today when it comes to Chris Tanev?
Game time decision, and then there is a young Finnish defenseman, or a Swiss defenseman, first rounder in 2022 that might be going in. So this is interesting. I feel like Tanev is going to play. Let me get the name. It's Leon Bischel. That would go in. He's 6'6", has never played an NHL game, played 16 AHL games this year, and started the season in Sweden with Rögle. Mm-hmm. So he's a youngster, 20-year-old. Yeah. He would draw in. He's been told to be ready if Tanev can't go. I still feel like Tanev, being the warrior that he is, tough as you-know-what, that he probably will play. But we're not talking about playing with one arm like Tanev did against the Oilers in the second round 2 years ago with the Flames. This is your ankle or your foot. You gotta be able to move, especially with some of the speed that Oilers forwards can hit you with. So this could be interesting.
Yeah, if he's in, the Oilers are going to target. And I'm not saying target it by trying to hurt him.
Go after him,
but they're
going to
target if you got an issue with your foot, you're going to do everything you can to target him with the play.
I'm going to his side every time. Because the guy can't turn, or he'll have a very hard time.
Well, you're going to see how, at the very least, early on, you got to double check. Mm-hmm. You got to see what it's like. That secondary player, like rookie, comes in the secondary. The quarterback's going to throw the ball to the receiver being covered by that secondary, just to see how it goes.
Yep.
And if they're beating him, okay, we're going there all game. You know the Oilers tonight are going to be looking at Tanev, dumping the puck in, going that direction, and seeing, okay, how is this foot? Mm-hmm. And if it's not good, okay, keep doing this, boys. Let's go over and over.
Yeah, and the fact that what a swing it could be if Tanev can't go, and we're talking about a Stars blue line, very top-heavy, quote-unquote, but also shorthanded at the same time because you've got, and I love the guy, Alex Petrovic, family friend, but he's back in the NHL for the first time in 5 years, which is a nice story. Had a chance to chat with him on the Rink Report the other day. If you haven't seen it yet, you could go check it out. And then you're bringing in Leon Bichel, who's never played an NHL game, and those are your fifth and sixth defensemen in Game 5 of the conference final against Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Evander Kane, Adam Henrique, and all of a sudden Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown. I know I'm saying that somewhat in jest, but they have been good. That's a big ask. And then you're going to be playing Heiskanen 30 minutes. And then a guy that you do have in there is also Ryan Suter at 39 years of age. Him and Pavelski, and being around the same age as them, like, good on them for still being in the NHL, and Pavelski's still an effective NHL player, but we have not seen anything from Pavelski in this series. And Suter, the stuff we've seen from him in this series is generally where he's had struggles, shots against or attempts against, and scoring chances, and then eventually goals from the Oilers with Suter out there. First goal last game, Suter was the one that got tied up with Ottinger that allowed Ryan McLeod to tuck home the loose change.
Darnell Nurse helping to get those two tied up as well.
Yes, good on him. Corey Perry also getting in on that one as well.
He went to the net, and there's like a stick hold or whatever, and then went over top of Ottinger, and it made the goal very easy for Ryan McLeod at that point. Full credit
Maybe a
to Darnell
confidence
Nurse.
boost, yeah.
Reminder, we have the chance to qualify here on the Oil Stream for the $100,000 hole-in-one contest presented by Golf Town that will take place July 3rd at the Ranch Golf and Country Club, 180 yards out on the 17th hole. So we will have that qualifying opportunity. Later on, we also want to qualify someone for the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, VIP table to Kevin Hart. We will do that as well here on the Oil Stream. Portions of this hour or of the Oil Stream are brought to you by Popeyes. Things just got better at Popeyes as the new crispy chicken buffalo wrap is available. 2 classic hand-battered and breaded mild chicken tenders with bold buffalo sauce paired with fresh lettuce, tomato, milder spicy mayo wrapped in a soft flour tortilla, available in-store or delivery. We're talking about the... Okay, before we go to the Oilers, I'll just one more on Tanev.
Yep.
You know, you just broke down the defense and what they have left for the Dallas Stars, and kind of they're down to 3 defensemen. How big of a blow is this to the Stars, and is this bigger than starting the series off without Rupe Hintz?
Yes. Yes, because the Stars have depth at forward. Now, Hintz being their best forward is a huge get, and he had an immediate impact in Game 3. But when you're down to 3 of your top 6 D-men still being in action, or 4, I should say, with Ryan Suter, that's a lot, man. You're asking for a lot from them. Especially, like, if you have Lindell paired up with Heiskanen and then Harley's with Suter potentially, those guys, that quartet there is playing what? Lindell and Heiskanen, in theory, would be around half the game. And then Harley and Suter would be a good 20+. And then, let's say, in theory, that it's Petrovic and Bichel. They're getting, what, 12 minutes? Maybe. Right? They're taking the scraps. So that's a big ask. And if you got a pressing, fast, hard-skating, aggressive Oilers forward unit, yeah, I think that the situation on the back end is more so than Rupe Hintz being out.
Schmitty the Welder in the Nasty Chat says, where's all this depth that I keep hearing the Stars have? Lose 1 defenseman, then you're putting a rookie in great depth.
But Smitty the Welder, like, I understand, good point, but the depth for them is at forward. That's where we're talking about the depth, and I think Smitty knows that. But, yeah, all of a sudden, the back end, and with Hakanpää out too, you look at the blue line and you're like, ooh. They have Derek Pouliot available, but it doesn't look like they want to go that route because they've told Leon Bichel to be ready to play.
I think he could be a scary ad the opposite other way where they are, look at where I am. I'm in the Western Conference Final in Game 5. Perfect. And that could sometimes be a situation where it could get you, where especially if the other team, this is going to be easy. Yeah. But he actually settles in and plays rather well. I'm not saying he's going to be this greatest Norris-winning defenseman long term, but maybe in those one game, he actually just does what the Dallas Stars need from him.
Matt Benning did fill in well in
that
16,
year he
17.
did.
But he had played the regular season.
Fair point.
He was an NHL defenseman at that point. Bichel would be playing his first NHL game. That's the difference. But yeah, it is. You get that little jolt of adrenaline. But I don't know. Like the guy's 6'6", right? Just made the transition from Europe to North America. Played 16 regular season games for the Texas Stars in the AHL, 5 playoff games, and then has been a black ace. Yeah, he did put up some points, and that's good. And smooth skating Swiss player, I'm assuming, but he's a giant back there. Yeah, it's interesting. So we'll see. Again, I feel like Tanev will probably suit up, which, again, the guy's a beast.
Oh, and look, no one's getting eliminated tonight.
True.
So Tanev suits up. If he doesn't play well, if you're Pete DeBoer, you make a change for Game 6. If it's not there, and if he plays well, then okay, you feel good about what you're doing with Chris Tanev, and you might keep him out there. But yeah, it's not like this series is going to be over no matter what tonight. As for the Oilers, looks like one lineup change that we're going to see, which is Carrick in, Ryan out.
Yeah.
Do you like that? Do you like the change of a line? Like, look, okay, I guess we can't really question Chris Knobloch a lot when it comes to his lineup decisions.
Good for him. Well done.
But is Derek Ryan a guy that should be coming out of the lineup?
I looked at Derek Ryan, and I was like, I could see that happening. That's a testament to Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown, who've played well. And then with Derek Ryan, if it is confirmed, he did. I'll clear it up this way. Chris Knobloch was asked about potential lineup changes, and he said there could be one. And today at the morning skate, it was Carrick in Ryan's spot, fourth line center. If that happens, I have no qualms with it, especially if the Oilers want to go heavy on the physical side of things and attack Dallas's defense. Carrick would be an upgrade over Ryan. I admire Derek Ryan for his hockey sense. I admire him for his hustle, his ability to play wing and center, his face-off ability. But there have been moments in games where he does get out-muscled, or he doesn't have that extra couple inches of reach, and it's like, ugh, come on, man. Like, keep it going, keep trying. But maybe an advantage to Carrick in that regard, that he's a bit bigger, a bit tougher and stronger. So maybe that could be an advantage.
Zach, is our stream going on the butt?
Yeah.
We're good?
It's going? Is it back up, or is it still?
Yeah, it's going. Yeah, it's back up. I didn't notice.
Did it go down?
Apparently it did, yeah.
Okay.
You fixed it?
I'll have to look into that because we've been good on that for so long.
Yeah.
But just getting messages. I guess those people aren't going to be helping because I'm saying you guys are off the air, One-Eyed Pete and stuff like that. If we're back, give us a thumbs up. But you won't know that I'm saying that if we're not back.
We're on. I'm watching it right here.
Not on YouTube. YouTube's fine.
YouTube's fine.
The audio stream.
Okay.
The Waylon the Wolf kicked in again.
Oh, I see.
That thing. So
frustrating.
Got to double check that after or something. Oh yeah, Jeffy. This guy. He's fun.
Which guy?
Well, just fix your stuff. Well, yeah, we are trying, Jeffy. We are, but obviously you also can't hear me if we're not going there. It also depends when people are listening. Maybe there's an outage when it comes to one of our providers or something like that.
Oh, maybe.
A couple texts I want to get to. One also Redbeard texting in. Where was that one from Redbeard? Did I just lose it?
From Scott Laurie?
Yes. Oh, now I feel like I lost it.
Fix it, Matthew.
Well, I just want to read the text to you. Why did I lose my Redbeard text? Oh, there it is. Come on, Tommy. This summer of soccer is going to be amazing. You'll be hooked for sure.
I love you, Redbeard.
So
I'll leave it at that. Redbeard took his son to his first ever Oilers game the other night. Great one. That's a great way to start things out. The bar has been set high.
We're back.
Good luck, Scott.
We're back. People are telling me we're back. So.
Jeffy, watch the expletives, okay?
Eden. 780-218-9999 Paris Jewelers inbox. Afternoon, boys. I'd like to point out that being in Dallas gives DeBoer a better chance at controlling matchups. Broberg played just over 14 minutes and didn't get into trouble in Game 4. I don't think it should be given that the Oilers can take advantage of things. Is that a fair point in your mind?
Well, what if Chris Tanev's out there and he's got to face either first, second, or even the third line?
Well, but does that give DeBoer the ability to put him out there in the proper spots?
Sure. No, Eden's right. Like, DeBoer will utilize that. But if he is rolling Tanev out there, I'd say advantage Edmonton. And then if he can't go and they're playing a raw rookie, I'd also say advantage Edmonton. And if Chris Knobloch is on his toes and can catch the Stars at times in a mismatch, and I'm sure he would try to do that to counter not having last change. I'm sure he will, but no, I get where Eden's coming from, but this situation is favorable for the Oilers. Ultimately,
it has to tip scales slightly to the Oilers. If one team's losing a key player, that obviously helps the other team, just plain and simple.
Yeah.
But now, as much as we could praise Chris Knobloch for his decisions going into games, is not in games the ones where he's had more struggles these playoffs? Is the
there's been a few where,
like,
lack of calling a timeout, waiting for the TV timeout.
Putting Nurse Cece back together.
Janmark on the first line in game 1 against Vancouver and sticking with it. That didn't work. Or was that this series? No, that was Vancouver.
Which one?
Janmark.
That wasn't this series.
That was game 1 of Vancouver. Oh, it's all blending together.
It really does, doesn't it?
Yeah. What round are we in?
It's the playoff start, I think, April 22nd. I think was game 1 for the Oilers. Like, it's only been like 5 weeks or something.
But it's
weeks.
like every other day.
It feels like we've gone through a grind of a lot of hockey to go through. And
it's still some left.
It's wild to think.
Lots left, yeah.
I don't remember everything that happened in the Kings series anymore. There's that great game 4 that happened that we could talk about, but it's like, feels like so long ago.
Yeah, remember when Calvin Pickard was the Oilers starter? 2 games. Anyway, it just, there have been some instances where he's had to deal with lessons, and to his credit, he has. That's a great sign for this team and for Chris Knobloch as a coach. But yeah, in game has been, and for a guy who looks and it sounds and is usually very calm and doesn't get too worked up, there's been a few shots that they've caught him on the bench where he looks, I'm not going to say rattled, but he's moving a lot more and he's a little bit more agitated. It's like, the wheels are turning. He's kind of in a jam here. And for the most part, he's passed those tests, or he'll take a setback and he'll improve, and has.
Who's been better in net this series, Skinner or Ottinger?
Equal. They've both been great, made some fantastic saves. They both had a few goals where you're like, oh, not great. I think equal.
Which is just amazing for Stuart Skinner.
Ultimately, good for Skinner.
Well,
goal 4 in game 3, not good. But
the only person that I think was against Ottinger, or not against, but said don't see the hype, was Gager. He's been going. He's like, I don't understand why he's getting. Well, he had a great series against Calgary a couple years ago, but hasn't been there. But a lot of people go, Ottinger, great goal, and to me, he is. But we're saying it's equal, and that's how well Stuart Skinner has played this.
Good for Stu.
He's through 4 games.
Yeah. To his credit, I mean, he took that 2-game break, used it to his advantage, had that talk with Sam Gagner, and it seems like his head's in the right space. The game has been pretty good for him, generally. Have there been blemishes? 100%. But yeah, I think the goalie situation in this series, if you look at both guys, has been a wash.
And on top,
that's a win for the Oil.
If it was last series, if game 4 was last series, the Oilers don't come back because Stuart Skinner lets in another goal after it's 2-0.
Yeah.
He couldn't figure it out once the game started going away. But instead, one goal, just like that second goal, like there's nothing anyone could do on that one, largely, right?
Yeah.
But he settled in and he shut the door the rest of the way. And that's just the learning from series to series is that, again, in the Canucks, if that was that series, the Oilers, even if they come back and tie that game at 2, he's letting in another goal.
Yeah.
But he didn't in game 4. And we're saying that he's as good as Jake Ottinger. And that is amazing to say right now for the Oilers because after the Canucks, at least after game 6, I would say, the Oilers won't have a shot against the Stars here. But this has just been through 4 games, almost an even series across the board.
Yeah. What would Gretzky say? The thing we figured out about this series is it's hard to figure out. Something along those lines, paraphrasing. I wonder, with Skinner, if the Canucks are kind of his kryptonite to a certain extent, the way the Oilers always touch up Jacob Markstrom, regardless of what team he's playing for.
Oilers are also always good against Carey Price in Edmonton, too.
Yeah.
Just throwing that
Yeah, there's things like that. And Skinner's numbers in his limited games against Vancouver the last 2 seasons weren't particularly good going into that series. And then he wasn't very good in that series to the point where he was taken out, and then good on him again for bouncing back the rest of the way after sitting out games 4 and 5. So I wondered if that had something to do with it subconsciously, whatever it is with the Canucks that give him fits. He got past those hurdles. And then with Dallas, it's not the same feel, not the same vibe. The Oilers have had some success against the Stars in recent years. They went, 1-2 against them this year. But, yeah, I wonder if it's the team he's facing as well, that it's not much the same burden, or for whatever reason, he's able to find his game better against the Stars. I don't know. Maybe it was a Canucks thing. That was just an offhand thought I had as I was driving into the studios this morning. So, yeah, it's interesting. And the fact that, to me at least, it's been mostly a wash goalie-wise, I think that's advantage Edmonton.
I don't know what's going on in the nasty chat, but Zach laying down the law.
What are you doing? What's going on?
No making fun of other
update.
people, name calling. 2, no F-bombs or swearing. 3, no spamming. As Tommy says, ELE, everyone. Love everybody.
That's my boy, Zach, to come.
Well, KQ was asking what can and can't be commented.
Okay.
So I just had to let them know.
Is KQ over the line?
No, they're just asking.
Oh, just asking.
Just asking. Just curious.
Yeah, now that they're going Go Stars Go. No problem with that. Jump in with that. No problem.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't like putting people in, what does Cass call it? YouTube jail?
YouTube jail.
We don't want to put people in YouTube jail. But if you spam, yeah, you're going to have to go. If you get into the swearing or you go too far with comments, like the Canucks series was coming after cities, which then led to Oilers having to go after like Hastings. No, that stuff goes away.
Yeah,
we're going to put you in the YouTube jail. Be respectful. If you want to, if you're a Stars fan, have fun with. Here's the thing: try to make us laugh. I'm cool with that. It's the one like we had it last series, but somebody came in and they've done it like back-to-back days. The Edmonton Sucks talk in the nasty chat. It's
that guy.
Be more creative. Like make me laugh. Make me go, wow, that's well done. Otherwise, we'll have to get rid of you.
It just your average Canadian says, why can't we swear? It's not nice.
Well, it depends on, I guess, how it was done. Like I've used it. Somebody said Mick Effer. They used the word.
Oh,
I don't need that.
Yeah.
There's like
kids in here.
Well, I get that sometimes you might, say some words in that, and we'll judge that a little bit based on how it is. But I guess it's how it's done. Like, don't swear at others. That's the way I'll go with that one.
ELE. Good job, Zach, to come. ELE.
Yeah, just laying
laying
down the draw. Also, as you haven't used this one as much, I don't think, with the mixing of water. Have you been saying that a lot?
I think during weekend broadcasts after games, I say mixing of water. Yeah, but not as much lately. When it heats up outside and people are out there enjoying a tasty beverage or two, then I'll drop a mixing of water. Like this weekend, mixing of water.
I'll say mixing of water during the Euros and Copa. Because soccer starting at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's going to go to like 8 o'clock at night, like 13 hours.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to have to mix in quite a few waters in that one.
Well, you do you. You have had 2 liters of 2 hoots already today, so.
I'm going to have to throw another one in the fridge, I think, soon to get it. Because we're almost out of that one. So
we only have 3 gallons sitting by the fridge now.
Well,
we got refreshed.
Well, we're okay. Even though you took the 1 box from us, we're okay.
I didn't.
I said Will.
Oh, Will, yeah.
Will. This is the Oil Stream here on Edmonton Sports Talk, apparently on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, as well as EdmontonSportsTalk.com, as well as those watching on YouTube. Reminder, GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre- and post-game show tonight. Tommy will be live at Hudson's Bourbon Street. Pre-game show starting at 5 o'clock right here on EST. Him, YTT, and Matt Cassian. Portions of this hour of the Oil Stream are brought to you by Boston Pizza. The playoff menu is now available, featuring the halftime square footer, a flight of wings, the triple plate platter, and the new Chipotle Chicken Quesadillas. Fuel your fandom at Boston Pizza. Let's qualify someone right now.
Yeah.
Let's do the $100,000 hole-in-one contest.
Let's go.
Swing to win with EST, $100,000 hole-in-one contest presented by Golftown. Swing big this Father's Day. Find Dad the perfect gift at Golftown. Say big with huge deals on TaylorMade in-store and online. That's starting now through June 9th. Don't miss their top deals like the TaylorMade Sim2 driver for only $330, 25% off all TaylorMade bags. There are some exclusions that apply. This Father's Day, give the gift of golf. Visit us in-store at golftown.com for more details. Golftown, your ultimate destination for Father's Day gifts. I was looking at some
What?
I was on the website yesterday just because
Yep.
I always just end up at Golf
Huge
Town
sale
somehow.
there.
I need new irons next year, so I'm not ready to buy them yet. But they did have a deal on sim irons.
Go see
Really
Murray
good deal.
B.
It's
Do you need his
I have
contact?
a TaylorMade driver. I don't know. I like having symmetry between all my clubs, kind of.
No, I get that. I went all TaylorMades
Did
except
ya?
for my wedges and my driver.
What is my wedges? Well, I
have
got to
Callaway.
replace them. I have a TaylorMade. One of mine is TaylorMade wedge. Putter is. I have a putter. I like it. I'm not changing that one.
I got a new putter last
you?
summer. I love it.
What'd you get?
The TaylorMade Spider GTX, that it has the weights that you can slide, and then so I put the weights to the front so it plays more like a blade as opposed to a mallet putter. Because when I had
I like the blade
mallet,
putter. I like the stick putter.
yeah, and I had a mallet putter for years prior to that, and I found that I was pushing my putts. Probably a lot to do with me being an idiot and having bad alignment.
But that's where the weights come in.
But yeah, that's the tendency is for people to push because of the weight distribution on the pendulum. But then I got the GTX Spider, and I put the weight to the front so it plays like a blade. At least that's the rationale. And the pushing habit has somewhat subsided. Gents.
Raj H saying Mizuno irons awesome, worth the money.
Yeah,
I've heard good things about Mizuno's. Which one are you going with? Before I give the key.
Beyonce, gents, is the fan park tent done? As far as I know, it's not.
That'd still be happening.
Yeah, like that thing is the amount of money flowing through that area. I don't see why they would shut that down.
They keep getting to capacity. Both Moss
Yeah.
Pit, Fan Park, all of that. They keep going. The keyword to text to 780-218-9999, Albatross. Albatross to 780-218-9999, ALBATROSS, and Albatross. For those that don't know, if they're not golfers, that's 3 strokes under par. Birdie's 1 stroke, Eagles 2 strokes, Albatross is 3 strokes. So a hole-in-one on a par 3, that is a hole-in-one, but it's also an Albatross, but it'd be 2 on a par 4. Mm-hmm. What would you rather have, an Albatross or a hole-in-one?
Hole-in-one. More glory.
It is.
It really
I
is.
think this, like, to go tell people I got a hole-in-one, like, the Albatross, I think, is harder.
Yeah,
The
I
non,
agree.
like, I'm not, again, an Albatross and a hole-in-one, they're technically the same thing, but that's a hole-in-one on a par 3. But a par 4, an Albatross, or a par 5, an Albatross, that's going to be a lot harder to do than a hole-in-one. But that only the people that you can press with that is golf people.
Right.
You can't go to, like, anyone that's not a real big golf fan, they know what a hole-in-one is.
Yeah.
Like, if you're trying to impress a girl on a date and you go like, hey, I got an Albatross, they're like, cool?
I play a TaylorMade Spider GTX with the weights at the front. See ya.
But you say I got a hole-in-one. They're
Check,
like, oh,
please.
they'll
Yeah.
at least understand. They'll be like, oh, nice. You won't have to explain what an Albatross is.
No, exactly.
But I would rather, hole-in-one for glory, but truthfully, an Albatross for just me. That's what I'd
How
rather
many
have.
Eagles do you have?
Not many.
I only have a couple.
Obviously, golf tournaments don't count.
No, those. If you count golf tournaments in your game,
I will
you're
say this.
out of your mind.
I am really good at putting in the long eagles at a golf tournament.
Yeah.
Long
No
ones.
pressure, right?
I'm the guy that that's where I benefit my golf teams.
Yeah.
Is that I come in and I can putt. There was the 3rd hole, par 5 at the ranch.
Oh, yeah.
Went there once, probably a 40-footer, drained it.
It's a good feeling.
So I got the eagle for the team.
Very satisfying.
But I think maybe one. No, I don't think I have an eagle, actually.
Yeah, I don't. I only.
I don't believe I do.
I think I have a couple. That's
Closest I've come is at Ravencrest 10. It's the one that goes down.
it. Yeah.
And after, like, your second shot, if you hit it right, you could get on the green really easily. Anyone
nice.
can. And
Yeah.
I blew it.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
Anyway.
Albatross, 780-218-9999. And you'll go into a draw. We'll qualify someone for the $100,000 hole-in-one contest presented by Golf Town, which will take place July 3rd, Ranch Golf and Country Club. Hole 17, 180 yards out. There'll be 2 more chances to qualify this weekend. Once on Hello Hockey tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 to noon. And then Sunday, 8 to 10 in the morning. It is the VIP Golf Show with Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock. And then Monday, we'll announce our 5th qualifier.
Awesome.
Our 5th contestant for the $100,000 hole-in-one contest. We will qualify someone later in the show as well for the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, July 13th, Saturday. Kevin Hart, a VIP table for that one. Where do we go to next with this Oiler game? How confident are you that the Oilers are going to take this one?
I mean, go for it.
We saw last game, Ryan McLeod, Corey Perry come in, go right with Leon Draisaitl, but they produce. We saw Darnell Nurse have his moment with the media, comes out, has a really good game after a slow start. How do they replicate that going into this game? Because Darnell Nurse is going to have a thing with the media again. You know, Ryan McLeod and Corey Perry, they could come. There's an extra juice that you have when you come in because you're a healthy scratch. How do you keep that inside of you as a player? How do you think they should,
Good question.
How confident are you that they could replicate Game 4 for Game 5 between those three players?
I don't know if it's replicate. I think it's build off of.
Okay.
Right? Because they get back in, there's nerves, there's eagerness, there's a desire to stay in. So they have to have a good game. And those guys that did come back in, and then Broberg going in for the first time, playing an NHL game since April 18th, they kind of reestablished their bar, right? And now I think it's building off of that. And especially for Darnell Nurse, in series, we're using the term reset a lot, but that's kind of what he did in Game 4. So to continue that, build off of that, I think all four of those players, Nurse, Broberg, Perry, and McLeod, want to build off of it. And maybe even to a lesser extent, Sam Carrick. But Carrick, when he's been in, hasn't hurt them one bit. He's generally been all right. So I think it's more of a building on what they've established recently, obviously, as opposed to just continuing it or replicating it. You know what I mean? That's how I would look at it. But I think, they've set the standard, now build off of it kind of thing.
Just an update on the Molson Canadian House.
Yep.
The Canadian Molson House hockey tent has been taken down.
Really?
They have events, the Ice District Carnival, June 6th through the 9th, and then Boomfist on February 22nd. So the Molson Hockey House will be down, but the Ford Tailgate Party, which is right there as well in the fan park, as well as Mospit, those are still open. So the Tailgate Party and the fan park, those are still open. They open up 5 o'clock tonight, but Molson House hockey tent has been taken down because of events coming up. So you still have 2 of the 3 locations to go to because they added the third of the Molson House. Well, Molson House is gone, fan park's still there, and Mospit's still there.
That's too bad. I didn't see that they took it down. I apologize. My bad. I assumed they were.
No, I was with you, going. But Jasmine actually texted and saying tent is down for other concerts, and so I looked it up. And the According to Ice District Facebook page, it's Molson Hockey House that is down, fan park still open, and obviously Mospit's still open.
That was a great idea because it shielded people from the elements. It's been pretty windy the last little bit. There's been days where it's rainy, so you want to keep the party going. You go inside there. Good vibe, DJ. So, okay, good update. I didn't know that. It's been hard to keep tabs on that, like the watch parties and stuff like that, but I think they were raking it in with that Molson Hockey House because it was pretty much always full. Every time I saw posts and updates from friends who were there or people that were working there, it was just like, oh, that looks like a good time.
So it's pretty simple. It's just even more reason to go to Hudson's West Edmonton Mall tonight.
Come on down.
You can't go to
Rob
Molson
C's
House.
coming. He booked his table.
Oh, nice.
Maybe Norman a Combine.
Norman's here.
Yeah, I know. He already has his green ESP.
Shh.
Oh, sorry. Don't look at me like that. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to say
Well, I
anything.
haven't put them up for sale yet, but Norm showed up and he wanted
He's
one,
a
so I
Nasty
got
Club
him
member.
one. So we have green EST hats.
Green and gold.
They're green and gold. We took the yellow gold of our color of the logo.
Yeah.
And instead of having a blue hat that are colors, we put a green hat, and they look sharp. They look great. Chelsea and the Hive did fantastic work with those. Probably will be up for sale on Monday. I'll throw those up on the site just because I got to calculate some things still with it. There's not many of them. Did a very limited run. We'll see how quickly they sell. If they sell out quickly, maybe we'll do a second order. But very few left, so stay tuned as the green and gold EST hat is going to be going next week. Look, there's a lot to get to next week when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers. We're either on Monday wrapping up them being knocked out. We're either talking about them advancing the Stanley Cup final, or we're talking about a potential Game 7 coming up on Tuesday night. But also next week loaded with Elks talk because their home opener is on Saturday. We've got Jay and I are down at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road. It's not open to the public on Monday because there's an Elks event that I'm taking part in. But we'll have the hangout there that day. On Wednesday at Ice House, there's the Elks unveiling their alternate jersey this year from 5 to 7.
Yes.
Thursday's the annual dinner, which is going to celebrate 75. They've got the largest Elks alumni autograph session that's going to feature Giz and Warren Moon and Michael Riley and all sorts of greats. And then Saturday, it's game day. It's Elks taking on the Riders, and then the Green and Gold kickoff post-game shows. They're back in their new home. Right here on EST, 4 o'clock next Saturday. So it's a lot to get to when it comes to the Elks, and we'll have that Green and Gold. And what do we have here? We've got Stingers or home opener on Sunday at 4 o'clock, taking on Saskatchewan. Riverhawks open up their season tonight. They're out in Bellingham. Their home openers next Friday. You could catch, I think, the Riverhawks game tomorrow on our station. The reason I'm saying I think, behind the scenes, little opening the door, we are going to be carrying Riverhawks games and road games this year, but we don't have a play-by-play crew. We're relying on other teams' play-by-play crews. And some teams, I found out, don't have actual crews. They just air the audio of the crowd.
What?
So I don't know which teams have it and which teams don't. So as we go, we can't carry. We were going to carry the game tonight on Bellingham, but there's an Oilers game 5 tonight, so we've got pre and post. So I got to tune on and see if they have a play-by-play crew. If they do, we're going to air it for you right here on EST tomorrow. If they don't, I'm not just going to play ballpark sound for 3 hours on EST.
Oh,
so we'll pay attention. The home games, we're carrying a lot of the home games. You should get to the games.
Yeah.
But if you can and you're driving around, throw on EST. Al Coates will have the call for you.
Classic.
It's going to be great. I have the fact that we're still connected. Al Coates just makes me smile. It makes me happy. But the road ones, when they're, when they don't have a play-by-play crew. Okay. We'll see how that goes.
That's not going to work.
This text coming in. So the Elks home opener will go up against game 1 of the Cup final. Tough blow for them if the Oilers are in the final.
There's a thing on that. Do you want to?
Is that the Murray thing that I was about to say?
Yes.
Yeah. Murray McCourt, who is it? He knows everyone.
Murray's dialed in.
On the Hangouts on Monday, he said he heard that they would move that game. And I would assume all parties involved would want to move that game, both the Elks and the Canadian Football League and TSN.
Yeah, logic.
Because if the Edmonton Oilers are going up for a Cup final, no one's watching that game in Edmonton.
No.
Really.
Seriously.
Maybe there's 2 TVs going for people. Like somebody like me, I'd do 2 TVs.
Correct.
But there's not a lot of people going. So right away, TSN loses a massive part of that audience. It would be smart to move that game because that'd be 5 o'clock. Oilers would be at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
It wouldn't time out well. You need to move that up early. So there's talk of maybe moving that up earlier. I don't know if logistically if they could move the days, Friday or Sunday, if that could happen. But it would be smart for that to happen. I guess we'll find out if the Oilers advance, which would know as late as Tuesday.
Yeah.
Once they advance, like on the Wednesday, well, if they're going to change it, will be no on the Wednesday or on the Monday.
Yes.
The Monday or Wednesday, we're going to find out. If the Oilers don't advance, obviously, then nothing needs to change.
Right.
But it would be very smart for everyone involved to make that change because also the Oilers would be on the road.
Right.
So it's not even like it would be a home game. So if the Elks have to play at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock,
that's just fine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You go watch the entire game. You have plenty of time to go somewhere else and get settled in to watch that hockey game later on. Mm-hmm. It hurts for the Elks, obviously, to start a season. But I've also of the mindset that the CFL needs to start sooner, and who cares if you go up against the Cup final, because the home opener isn't what matters. And I know Evan Daum and everyone at the Elks are going to be upset with me saying that, but it's the latter games that matter the most. And those games need to start. You get better crowds, and you need better weather to get more people to those games. And if that means you're going up against the Stanley Cup final for the first 2 weeks, go for it. Because what you could do is still move games. It's not that hard to a degree. They do it in soccer all the time.
Yeah.
Bringing soccer back to this.
You hear flex games in the NFL all the
Absolutely.
time, too. Like,
you could plan that, no problem. So
Yep.
I'm assuming that people within the Elks, within the CFL, within TSN are discussing this and planning for it and be ready to go if they need to do it. Because again,
all four teams going.
I know, it's amazing.
It's great.
Elks tonight taking on the BC Lions preseason. You could watch that on TSN. Dustin Nilsson with the call.
Yeah.
It's preseason though. Who cares?
Me?
Do you?
Not really.
Did you see the lineup?
No, not really.
It's such a youthful lineup. It doesn't matter. I hate preseason sports. I love the Elks, but
I'm excited that it's on TSN. I'm
excited for Dusty.
Call. No, I'm going to be dialed in. I'll probably catch the highlights, and that's it. And I'll hear Dusty's call.
I won't catch the highlights. I'm not going to lie. Don't care. Hate preseason sports, especially football. It's the worst culprit of them all.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Although you're a former Cardinal. I got to learn how to say
Robert
his name.
Kindici?
He apparently looks great.
Good. As
Looks
long as he
great.
can keep it together off the field and is a good teammate, then it's all that matters. Different cat, from what I understand. Great.
Yeah, Steve
player.
Sandor. He was writing a piece for Canadian Press, and he told me to talk to him, and yeah, really loved his chat. And
sure
Steve's
it
an
was
interesting
interesting.
fella himself.
Yeah.
Like he likes those
Steve's
interesting
fun.
things off the side. Like he likes that going off the beaten path type things with things. So
He wanders.
He really enjoyed that conversation.
He wanders. He was fired up in the press box during Game 4. We were talking. What were we talking? Baseball, collegiate baseball.
Yeah, 'cause his kid's big into the baseball, and he was at down south, and we were talking
Seattle,
about
yeah.
how the Americans just love their universities to a different degree than us.
Oh,
Except
yeah.
for Frank Saravalli, who's from Penn State but doesn't care about Penn State
Penn
as much
State,
as
yeah.
others do.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Mike. He was the qualifier for the hole-in-one contest. Brought to you by Golf Town that will take place on July 3rd at the Ranch Golf and Country Club. Mike, keep your phone on Monday morning because you have a 1 in 6 chance of being named as one of the contestants for the hole-in-one contest with a chance to swing for $100,000. This is the Oil Stream. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you here live on Edmonton Sports Talk. Oilers versus Stars later tonight. When you look at the other series, Panthers, Rangers, Panthers are up 3-2. By the way, when the Panthers win, the Oilers have won the next game. When the Rangers have won, the Stars have won the next game. Panthers won yesterday. We'll see if that trend continues. Do you see anything from either of those two teams that if the Oilers advance, that you go, oh boy? Like, obviously it's not going to be easy. These are the 4 best teams left in hockey for a reason. They have been really the 4 best teams. But do you think that when you look at either the Panthers or the Rangers, that you go, if the Oilers have to meet them, they would be the favorite over the Oilers?
I think the Panthers would be.
Yeah. Why?
They're just, it feels like a complete team that also plays playoff hockey like excellently. Like they outmuscle you. They'll go punch for punch with you. You want to play a greasy, dirty game, they can counter. You want to play the finesse, smart, skilled game, they can counter. You want to turn it into a goaltending duel, I like their chances in that situation. They seem to be able to cover all their bases and are not uncomfortable in any situations. They're obviously in a bunch of tight games with the Rangers, and even the games that the Rangers have won, I felt like that the Panthers were the better team. And I do not want to disparage the President's Trophy winning New York Rangers. Those Rangers won 55 games this season. But to me, watching those games, and kudos to the Rangers for pulling out the wins that they have in overtime, but I'm just like, Florida's the team that should be winning these games. And to their credit, they have 3 of those victories. And I just think that they're the more well-rounded team, and they can go at it so many different ways. They have so many elements on their team that you're just like, wow, well, you want to talk about a Dallas Stars team that didn't have many holes? Florida doesn't have many holes on their roster either, but I'm not saying that they're a team of destiny. I'm not saying that they're going to be the team that wins. I don't know what the Stars would throw at them if the Stars were to advance. I feel like there'd be certain strategies that would have to be put in place if the Oilers were to advance to face potentially the Panthers in the Stanley Cup final, but I think they are the number 1 team out of the 4 remaining 4 excellent teams. Who knows, though? Maybe the Rangers force a 7th game. Maybe there's some team of I was listening to the radio broadcast from the Rangers, and a lot of this like 30-year anniversary talk was popping up. And after they scored the game winner, it was Wenberg in what was it, game 3?
3.
Yeah, and
Panthers went back to back.
Yeah, and I was listening, and they're like, 30 years, maybe, this could be the year, the team of destiny, we keep seeing them pull off these miracles. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, I guess if we're playing that game, it's been 40 years since the first Oilers Stanley Cup. We've not said a word about it because it doesn't matter one iota.
Yeah,
I just found it interesting. I'm like, they're really tapping into that 30-year anniversary of the Rangers' last cup, and I'm like, well, it's been 40 years for Edmonton's first cup. So if you want to counter that somehow, if looking at it from an Oilers perspective. But I was just listening to the Rangers broadcast, and obviously those guys are with the team all year long. And
It's too early to talk about Team of Destiny.
no, it isn't.
Yeah, it is.
I disagree
You
with
go to
that.
the Stanley Cup final if you're a broadcaster, and you start saying that in a Cup
No.
final. You still have to get through one more round to even get to the Cup final. It's game 3 of the Eastern Conference final. You're only up
No,
2-1.
I have no
I'm sorry,
issue with
you
that.
can't start calling yourself a Team of Destiny at that point.
With the way they're winning games, the way they got through the first couple of rounds, like I have no qualms whatsoever with the Rangers radio broadcast pulling on the Team of Destiny theme a little bit. I have no problem
I think
with
you're
it.
jinxing it. I think it's way too soon to pull that one
I'm
out.
jinxing the President's Trophy.
No. I think the
55
Rangers
win New York
team
Rangers.
I think the Rangers broadcast. I don't think you pull out that this is it to say this is a Team of Destiny when you still have to win 2 more games to get to just the Cup final. That's too soon. Once you're in the Cup final, you want to start talking about that. Sure, you want to talk about it after a Game 6 or Game 7 win when you clinch your spot in the Cup final. Sure, start talking about it being a Team of Destiny. I don't like it that soon. I think it's
I have
too
no
soon
problems
for it.
with it. I think it's fine.
And no surprise that they've lost 2 in a row now. Just, hey, they did it too soon.
Oh,
they
boy.
angered the hockey gods, and now look what's happening to the Rangers. They had the lead in those 2 games and couldn't even win.
Yeah, that
They've
is.
blown it. So the Team of Destiny apparently can't hold on to third period leads and get advanced to the Stanley Cup final. If they held on to third period leads, they'd be in the Cup final. Where's your Team of Destiny?
I just thought it was a good call. I'm like, okay, well,
I'm saying, too
30
soon.
years, 40 years, whatever.
They lose, I'm blaming the broadcasters.
Okay. Okay.
I could get angry about the most random
I didn't know
things.
that would be the thing that would get you fired up. I mean, I mocked your soccer talk.
Yeah,
We
Redbeard's on
mocked
my
your
side,
golf.
so I don't care. You didn't mock my golf.
Well, secretly I did.
What do you mean you mocked
When you were
my
talking
golf?
about like the par 3 180.
Oh, how I would do?
Yeah, and when
Yeah.
you were like, probably can't get it.
You're not
past the forward
mocking
tees."
me when I'm saying the same thing. Like
I
mocking
think I
myself.
agreed with you on the hangout when you brought it up. I'm like, yeah, you're right, Maddie. You would do that. And I could in my mind, I was like playing it as you were speaking. I'm like, I've seen you do this. You're meticulous. Too many practice swings. Get up there, chunk one. It goes 40 feet, not even to the forward tees, and you're MFing everything. I've seen you in those moments. You get very fired up on the golf course.
I expect better for myself.
I hear expletives coming from Matthew during golf rounds, which is funny.
I expect myself to be better than I am. And I know it's there.
I respect this.
Because I could go through like 12 holes and have great 12 holes, but then those 6 holes, I can't figure it out.
Snowman.
And they're all over
Snowman.
the place, and it's just, I get frustrated.
Snowman.
And
10 spot.
maybe the best thing for my blood pressure is the fact that I'm not golfing this year right now. You know, maybe it's the best
Maybe.
thing. But now I'm just getting upset about the Rangers broadcast team calling themselves a Team of Destiny for some reason.
Well,
so
yeah.
maybe I need to actually golf to get rid of my anger there and not on random things like Team of Destiny talk.
Well, they use that term. I was like, I don't mind it. I have no qualms with it. Also, maybe you could take a page out of my new favorite golfer, Charlie Hull's book, and just start ripping darts on the course. She's great. I didn't know who
Signing
she was
autographs.
until this morning. I'm like, this is... Then I watched some of her things, and I was like, that is how you golf. That's a pro right there. Be more like Charlie Hull. Cigarette in your mouth, signing autographs for kids, chugging beers during and after the round. Maybe before, who knows?
I don't want to fully rant. But the Canadian Open men's needs to come out west every so often.
Oh, I'd like to see
Enough
that
of this
too.
out, always in Ontario.
Get it out
I'm not
here.
even going to say Edmonton because I don't think we have a course for a PGA. I don't think any
What
of our
about
courses are high
what
end.
about Northern Bear when it gets its brand new?
I don't think it's at this.
Clubhouse. Still wouldn't be.
I don't think it's. I don't think we're at PGA level.
And Mayfair couldn't do it.
I don't think they're PGA level.
Windy,
I think Blackhawk
Blackhawk.
would be the closest, but it's too short.
it is.
It's only like, I don't know if they have, because it's a small course.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think it's. I don't think it'd work for PGA.
Coal Creek.
No, it's too far.
Yeah.
I would think Mickelson would be the place I would see in Calgary.
Okay.
Or it's somewhere in Vancouver area, but somewhere out west so we could get there a lot easier. Enough of always being out in Ontario. Bring
Yeah,
it back out west,
Like they're at where
all
the
I'm sure
Hamilton Golf and Country Club,
which
right now?
looked beautiful.
It
when
does
Pat
look great.
Pat was there on Lock Shop, just seeing the course, it looked fantastic.
Mm.
But yeah, like I'm not saying every second year or something out west. Give it out to us once every
Every
5
now
years.
and then.
The women's comes around out west a lot, which is great. Been a while since it's been in Edmonton, I think. So we should be due for getting one of those at some point soon. But
It is a great event. Honestly,
It's fantastic.
It's awesome to see. And those, we were talking about the growth in women's pro sports and the WNBA, PWHL, which had its first successful inaugural season, which is awesome. But the LPGA is actually a lot of fun to watch. And those women are phenomenal golfers. They're great athletes. If you get to see an LPGA event up close like we've had here, it's actually awesome.
Well, one of the best Canadian athletes right now going is going to be Brooke Henderson.
She's awesome.
There's no question about that. So.
Tailor-made athlete.
You're right.
Yep. Her,
Bring
Nelly
it up West every so
Korda,
often.
Rory, Tyga,
Nelly Korda
Scotty.
with that 10 or whatever it was yesterday.
That was harsh. And I saw her after, and she was not happy. I wouldn't be either.
Let's qualify someone for the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. July 13th, Kevin Hart is headlining. We want to send you there via a table for 4. Qualifying for next week, the week after, 2 weeks from today, we'll give this bad boy away. GreatOutdoorsComedyFestival.com for tickets. Early bird pricing ends today, so get there now if you want tickets to Saturday to see Kevin Hart, or Sunday, Bert Kreischer, Whitney Cummings is sold out Friday. But early bird pricing for Saturday and Sunday ending today. Alley-Cat, the official beer of the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. Go to Kingsman Park, have a 6 o'clock lager, have some great laughs. What a way to spend your Sunday. And also, I think the Riverhawks are out of town that weekend, and the Elks are of a bye week that week, I believe. Or did the Elks play it earlier that week? So there's not even a conflict with that stuff. Elks may be coming off.
What week is that?
The 12th through the 14th.
August?
July.
Let me take a look.
If you want to get into this mix for Kevin Hart VIP table, 780-218-9999. Do the Oilers move on to the Stanley Cup Final in 6 or 7 games? Text that to 780-218-9999.
Elks are at home on Sunday the 14th.
Sunday the 14th, okay.
Visiting Red Blacks coming to town. They have a back-to-back home and home with the Red Blacks, week 6 and 7.
And then they have Hamilton in there, BC Hamilton.
Hamilton, Saskey.
Hamilton, Saskey,
BC.
Hamilton.
In Hamilton, in Montreal. Labor Day at Calgary. Calgary here on the 4th.
It's a tough start.
14. Just go play football. Ball out, baby. I have a couple of texts I'd like to read.
Go for it.
Cozy says, I am volunteering at the CPKC tournament in Calgary at Earl Grey Golf Course, July for the LPGA. Cozy, that's going to be great. It's probably going to, hopefully the weather's good. Lots of fun. It is. They do a fantastic event. The Gourdfather says, thing about the Panthers in final is I think they take more penalties than anyone else who's left. Maybe power play gets opportunities to take advantage of. Yes, but Bobrovsky, man, he has been just sharp as a tack.
And the Oilers' power play's got to get going.
Yeah, it does, and that's the thing. Maybe Edmonton can get some power play opportunities tonight. Take advantage. I don't think they will. Simplify, man. Just simplify.
The refs have not been calling a lot of penalties in this series.
Whistles went away.
Yes.
Even last night, the whistles in the third period went away in that Rangers-Panthers game. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's kind of okay. Unless it's so egregious, so stupid, and out of line, then, yeah, I think whistles going away is fine.
I don't think we've had major moments where we're going, how is that not called in this series?
There were those 2 hits from behind in the one, like... was it Robertson caught Bouchard? I understand, and Bouchard got a little bit nicked up on that one. But prior to that, Hyman on... who did Hyman catch from behind? Was it even Robertson too, maybe? He drilled him from behind too. So, no
not
call
a lot,
on either
though.
one. No.
Like, I think the refs have actually done a really good job, and I think it's been fair the amount of penalties they call. And we're not seeing a lot of egregious things. Now, maybe sometimes some of the penalties that have been called have been a little softer. But overall, there's not a lot in it. I don't think it's been like there's been a lot of missed calls.
Tomorrow on Hello Hockey, we have Mike Svick joining us, the former NHL linesman. I have to confirm with Balsy, but that was the plan. I have a lot of questions for him.
Dave Pagnotta,
and then
who nailed the Stanley Cup, had the Stanley Cup final schedule before anyone else.
Breaking
on Hello
news.
Hockey.
Thank you.
Last weekend.
Right here on EST. This one for you. Hampton Steve wants to know, have Oiler fans also angered the hockey gods by chanting, "We want the cup"? I thought that's what they were saying. And I was like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, I heard there was those chants. I think it's a little early. I'm not a fan of that one. It's like Leafs fans last year saying, "Bring on the Panthers" or whatever, or something like that. Like, because the Panthers knocked down the Bruins. Is that how that went? Yeah, that's how it went last year. The Canucks, not ripping on the Oilers a little too soon. But it's also like you're just saying we want the cup. You want the team to go win a Stanley Cup. Not saying that it's going to be yours. You're just saying what you want. It's better than calling yourself a team of destiny in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final, where then you blow through third period leads in the next 2 games. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Keys to an Oiler win tonight.
Get those shots. Simplify. They did that a bit. Crash Jake Ottinger. That's how they got the party started. And the first goal of 5 unanswered was a simple shoot, go to the net, grab the loose change and bang it home. Great play by McDavid on the shot pass on the second goal, and then they built their momentum up from there. If Tanev is in, they're going to attack him, I'm sure, and his ability to move with a bad leg / ankle or foot. And then if he isn't, you go after the young guy who's never played an NHL game, Leon Bischel, the Swiss defender, 6'6". 16 regular season AHL games under his belt, 5 postseason games. His numbers would suggest he handled it well. He started the season with Rögle in the Swedish league. He's 20 years old. This is different, though. This is the 3rd round of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Hello Hockey tomorrow, 10 o'clock right here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in iHeartRadio and on YouTube. 8 o'clock Sunday morning. It is the VIP Golf Show with Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock. Potentially, we have the Edmonton Riverhawks taking on the Bellingham Bells tomorrow right here on EST. Their season gets going down in Bellingham tonight. Edmonton Stingers home opener, 4 o'clock down at Expo Center on Sunday. Get your tickets now as the Stingers look to go 4-0 to start the season. 1 in Calgary last week, 1 in Ottawa and Montreal this week. All those games you were able to catch right here on EST. Because we have pregame coverage on Sunday, we won't have the Stingers game for you on Sunday here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tonight, GCLD's Oil Stream pre- and post-game shows live from Hudson's West Edmonton Mall, Bourbon Street. Tom Gazzola will be there. 5 o'clock for the pregame show. Tommy, YTT, Matt
Cass is out tonight.
Cass
Family issue. Looks like we'll go with Belsey. Just a lineup note as Cass updates me right now.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Sean Bell, Tom Gazzola, YTT pregame show for the Oil Stream later tonight. Thanks to everyone for tuning in today. Up next on our audio stream, it will be a replay of the morning show. Lieutenant Eric, Joaquin Gage, and YTT. On behalf of Zach, to come Tom, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the Oil Stream. Enjoy the Oiler game tonight. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you later.